Here we go. Hello, hello. This is the Just My Type podcast. Welcome. We are delighted you're here talking about all things diabetes. And my name is Dobie Maxwell, representing type 2. Joining me, the vivacious, the bubbly, the effervescent Sammy Parker. Hi, Sammy.
Hello, Dobie.
You are
I
all
think
things.
I'm really starting to get used to your intro. It
You're all
makes me
things type 1. I'm just trying to flatter you because you are excellent. You are the rock of this show. I am the circus clown making fun and jokes. But
no.
together we are a team, and we're really delighted. We have our first 2 episodes out now, and we're starting to get some feedback. And I think the feedback that I like most is, well, you guys are real. You talk about real life, and that's what we want to do. So I think I want to know, and I'm going to hit you on the surprise. What was your blood sugar today? And it's going to shock you.
Okay, so my blood sugar. I'm gonna check my Dexcom right now,
Mhm.
but
Did it have a
it's
comma in it?
112
Oh, that's
with an
good.
arrow slanted up. But I had a smoothie right before this, so I think we're gonna be in a little bit of a trouble in a little bit. But right now we're kind of coasting, just at an upward slant.
So it's kind of like one of those, Jack in the Boxes. Pop goes the weasel. When the sugar kicks in, you're going to be doing
Yeah, kind of like
cartwheels.
it's really nice. Yeah, it's really nice, and then it randomly just spikes upwards, and I'm like, "Oh, there we go."
Now, when I was first
But,
diagnosed, I
what's
don't
your
know.
blood sugar?
Well, you know what? I think the one thing that's going to make our show it good is that we're honest. I'm never going to sugarcoat it. You always look at TV and movies and everybody else's life works out. I don't know what my blood sugar is. I haven't taken my blood sugar in years. When I first got it as a type 2, it was very intimidating. It was overwhelming. I think I took it every hour. Oh my gosh, am I going to die? Is my blood going to leak out? Is it going to go this 3,000?
It's all
That
fair.
it's ignorance. It is ignorance, and that's why we're here is to help educate people. And then in the last couple of years, as a comedian, COVID shut down comedy, so I was on cruise ships. I had a day job after the cruise ships shut down,
Well, I
and
I'm gonna send you a finger pricker so you can
okay,
check your blood sugar just for me.
I was using a butcher knife. Is that okay? Just kind of slice it off and
Maybe not. Maybe we
get
go
a
to
little
something
baby
a little
jar,
less dangerous.
baby food jar full, and I dunk it in there. No, I think that's another thing too is the technique of doing that can be intimidating for people. But I haven't, and the reason I admit that is, and I want to be honest because I know people listening to us, they feel the same way. Oh my gosh, I haven't done it. I don't
It's fair.
exercise. I eat poorly. And I think we're on both ends of the spectrum. You are Miss, oh, I'm a vegan and I work out and I'm young and beautiful and I have dimples and all the boys like me and everything's wonderful. And I'm happy for you. And if I had a daughter, I'd want one just like you because you're great.
Thank you.
But but that's on the good side, and there are people that go in your direction. I think we are all different as people because we just are. So that before we get we're a little too deep in it, I want to make sure we get our sponsors in. Our sponsor today is the Diabetes app, a free social community app that brings together both type 1 and type 2 diabetics plus their supporters to find community resources and Sammy and I on the Diabetes app.
Oh, yes.
Sorry about that.
Catch us there.
So now let's now today we're going to go in your direction, an endocrinologist, and now you have to deal with that. I dealt with one when I first started, and then that was it. They gave me my medicine, and I was off to the races by myself. Now you have to deal with it a lot more, so I'm going to let you take it over.
Okay, so this segment is basically and topic is gonna be about dating your endo.
Dating your
And
endo.
and yes, this is the only time that you can cheat on your significant other.
All right,
Sorry to my boyfriend, but yes, you have to date your endo.
he's not an endo, is he? Your
No,
boyfriend?
no, no. I'm
Okay.
just kidding too. Dating your endo, meaning you got to just find your right fit, and finding your endocrinologist is like a big deal with it, like dealing with diabetes. I think it's sometimes neglected because people just assume like, oh, this is the only one that's nearby. This is the only endocrinologist I can find. Which totally, if that's the only one you have, then you got to make do with what you have. But I definitely think dating your endo is an actual thing. And I mean, I've had it for diabetes for 9 years,
Mhm.
and I've gone through three endocrinologists, and I like my endo now. I've considered, cheating maybe to test out another one. But I've had multiple experiences. So I kind of just wanted to like dive in because I'm sure people listening, you guys all have had multiple endocrinologists that either have been totally in your favor, biggest supporter, or also you feel like they kind of tear you down, unfortunately.
So the first one, you really have no choice, pretty much.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess
You can
then
arrange
technically I've
marriage.
had four, technically.
Mhm.
So, okay, starting out, I went to Children's Hospital when I got diagnosed, and my endo came in for 15 minutes and that was it. And then I was like, oh, I thought I was going to have a long appointment. But because I was at like a big hospital, obviously, they have so many patients a day that there wasn't even like the accessibility to have that one on one time, which I think is something I prioritize. I think everybody prioritizes finding your endocrinologist differently, but that was a huge thing for me was like that quality one on one.
Did they keep you over? I mean, were you in the hospital or was it like an outpatient appointment?
No, I was just like there because that was like my first time and it was like a 6 hour pocket where we
Mhm.
were there the whole day. But I was literally with this nurse, Kylie, and she was awesome. And then my doctor came in for like, I'm not kidding, 20 minutes and then left. And I was like, what?
Mhm.
So
So you were
now for
disappointed.
me, oh, disappointed, strike one, left. And I was like, screw this. I'm going to a, like concierge type doctor. So we
Mhm.
found one and we were like, oh my gosh. And obviously I'm not gonna be naming names, but he was very knowledgeable.
Dr. X.
Dr. X. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, Dr. X.
Mhm.
Um, more like my ex. Yeah, he was good, but I mean the man did not want to accept. Like I was like, Dr. XX, I'm gaining weight from insulin. Or I like feel like my thyroid's off. Nope, nope, it's not. Diabetes doesn't make you gain weight. Nope. Acted like I was an idiot. I'm like, dude, I appreciate all your knowledge here, but you're not even didn't check out my eyes, didn't tell me that insulin could cause weight gain, couldn't tell me I was insulin resistant. It was just like a lost cause.
Dumb question. Do you think, and I'm
What?
not trying to be sexist, would it be easier for a woman to have a woman doctor or a man to have a man doctor, or is it just the demeanor of the individual person?
Well, I think it depends. Like this doctor is very knowledgeable. He's actually very big into like different with a specific company in diabetes.
Mhm.
And he'd done like diabetes camps. But for some reason, like when I brought up stuff, it was almost like I don't know, is dealing with like stress of his own thing or whatnot. But it was kind of like literally just like shot me down. Like any problem I had, it would like shot me down and then automatically like wanted to resort to the pump. And I was like, I am not doing the pump. I don't like the pump. But
Sure.
it was just like this constant, like I would cry on my drive down and I was like, not for me. Sorry, bud. Maybe
Wasn't a
next
discussion.
time.
It was a monologue just at you.
Yes. And it
Okay.
was basically like, shame on you rather than like, let's figure it out together. So that was strike two for that guy. And I was
Mhm.
like, you're out.
Out.
Goodbye, Mr. XX. So then moving on, I went to a doctor in Ventura and I loved her. She was great. Very like went to the ends of the earth to help me out and figure out stuff. But the issue was the distance because I was driving and it wasn't reasonable when I was in college because I was trying to like basically drive all the way there. But I was like, okay, it doesn't work. I have to study, I have to do this and that. Um, and she was awesome, like really great.
Mhm.
But she focused a lot actually with type twos, which is really cool. But I kind of realized like I needed to take in a holistic approach because we had tried every solution that was possible and my numbers were still high. So then, and I think you'll relate to this, I literally didn't go to an endo for like I think a year and a half,
Ouch.
which I know you said that you haven't really ever gone to one, right?
Well, I did when I first started. I was in the hospital. They were doing surgery on me, so I didn't have any place else to go. I had that gown with the butt flapping out. It was embarrassing. I didn't know I was going to be in the hospital. I was 9 days. Didn't expect it.
Oh,
So the endocrinologist comes in. That's a long word. That's a
that's a
Scrabble word.
long
I had
time.
no idea what an endocrinologist was. And of course, as a performer and comedian, I had the 100% deductible insurance company. I know we have people
Yeah.
listening all over the world, and there's socialized medicine in other countries, but in America, you got to pay your own way. So that was a whole big deal. It was fear. I was scared. I talked to the endocrinologist, and I basically, I just sat there and listened. There's nothing I could do about it. So that's why I'm interested in your experience. So now, okay, so you got rid of the
Yeah.
first one.
Yeah, so I got rid of the first one. It was like, okay, children's hospital. And then I was like, Dr. XX. And then I went to my Ventura doctor and I was like, oh, great. The distance though, and I think I'm gonna have to take the holistic approach. Obviously, taking medication, everybody. I'm not saying don't take your medication. I'm just saying I had to figure out other stuff. And then I got recommended to another doctor who's my current doctor, and she's awesome and great. But again, just it's difficult because I am plant based. So a lot of my approaches are different. Like some of the advice, because my A1C was 6.6, which I mean, I'm happy with that right now. Obviously, there's always room for improvement, but the solution was like, "Oh, you're having a lot of lows at night, like, maybe have, like, a little snack with, like, cheese and a cracker." And I was like, "Well, I'm plant-based." "Oh, we'll just have the cheese." I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm plant-based, meaning I'm not gonna eat the damn cheese." But I
So
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 with
for
that
the people listening, plant-based means you are vegan, you are vegetarian. I just wanna clear it up for
yes.
people that don't know listening.
Yes, sorry. Basically, yeah. Everything is grown from the ground,
So Big Macs aren't
basically.
grown from the ground?
No,
Okay.
unfortunately, unless
Just
you get that
checking.
Impossible Patty,
I'm
but that
just
comes from
checking.
the lab, so I can't
Alright.
help you out there.
Okay. As you were saying.
But yeah. So basically, I have the doctor now, and I love her too, but I feel like when you deal with it for so long, a lot of times it's kind of like, okay, I don't know, this is gonna sound bad, but like you're like, do I really need an endo? Like, aren't I my biggest advocate? In a way, sometimes, because you're like, okay, I got it down, like I know what my issues are, I know I need to fix this. But I think it just really boils down to finding your groove with your doctor that you're dating. Seriously.
Well, it's like regular dating though. Sometimes you click and sometimes you don't, and I think you have to be smart enough to know that this isn't working and it's time to find someone else. That can be
Oh,
kinda hard for some
totally.
people.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, it parallels dating, let's be honest here. It
Mhm.
does. You go on a date and you're like, "Ugh, this sucks. Not going out with them again." Same thing, you go to your endo and you're like, "Oh my god, they told me the same thing I already know." And then it's like, and then some endos are like, "Well, I really think you should do the pump." And you're just like, "Holy beep. I'm I don't wanna do the pump anymore." Like, I'm
I
over
often
it.
say that to people. Holy beep.
That's my, keeping it PG here.
No, I know it's a family show.
I'm trying to be better. Beep, ish, those words. They all kind of
Well, I think most of us know what the beeps and the issues mean.
yeah,
So now
there we
that
go.
so let's have a happy ending to the story. Did you find one that works for you that you have now?
Yes, and I do like her a lot. She is great. I think though this could be my own issue because I feel like I know a lot on my for my own body because I like basically found the cure to fixing my insulin resistance on my own. And I hate to say that, but inevitably when you find something on your own and it's about your own body, you can't help it. But there's a part of you that's like, "Okay, it took 5 doctors and they still didn't know what the hell was going on with my body. And I did." So you're almost like, there's this little bit of like a not know it all, but like in your head, you're like, I know my body more than anybody. So I really like my doctor, but I feel like sometimes I am actually like giving like new methods that I found, which is fine, but I kind of would like to be challenged, possibly in a nice way.
Just like a
But I
relationship.
have some
Exactly.
tips.
Okay, let's hear some tips.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it really is. I like to be challenged. I want to be pushed to my utmost potential
But don't you
in
have to
both
tell
dating
you have to
my
tell
boyfriend and my endo.
okay, at some time we wanna meet your boyfriend too. We wanna get the whole package, like a sitcom. We wanna know all the characters.
Oh, oh, he would love. I'm sure he would love nothing more. I'm being sarcastic. He would hate coming on a podcast.
Well, that's why we're here, to make people
When's
uncomfortable and awkward.
oh, it's great. Yeah, I
Yes.
couldn't get any better. Also, Dobie, when's the last time? So, like, when is actually the last time you went to your endo?
Let's see, we were in America. Who was president last time I went to an endo? Let's see, Obama, it was Jimmy Carter, it was Abraham Lincoln. It's been a long time. I was diagnosed in 2011, so it was probably
George Washington.
2011. George Washington, yeah, the guy on the quarter, if you're not from
There
America.
we
He's also
go.
on the dollar bill. Very
2011.
yeah, and after that, I did go for a little while, probably 6 months to a year, and I was very good. All the doctors said, "Boy, you do what we tell you. You exercise, you eat well, you drop some weight," and I did that out of fear, and then I started feeling better, and I stopped going. Couple reasons, I was on
Well,
the
I feel
road.
like
No, I'm just
I
saying
feel like you look though.
go
Yeah,
ahead.
I mean, I get it with the endo thing.
Yeah, but it's wrong, and I'm gonna use this show to be the example for everybody listening that has been lax on it. And I'm not scolding. I'm using myself as an example. Well, if that guy can do it, the worst diet, the worst lifestyle on the road as a comedian. I didn't have insurance, poor, self-employed. So these are all three things that is a lot of people have it all over the world. thousands, millions. So I will be the one exercise. I will go by your advice and the guests that we have.
Mhm.
I will get my blood sugar down, my A1C. I have no idea what my A1C is. I didn't know what an A1C is until I got in there. Now I know what it is, but mine probably has 4 digits in it. It's probably high because I stopped. I lost the fear factor. I got
Yeah.
cocky. I thought I felt better, and then I had a day job, and I would get tired. Well, I'm gonna exercise when I get home. I didn't exercise. Before this episode, I took a nice exercise walk. I took some vitamins. I had a healthy
Yay.
salad for breakfast, and it inspires me.
Mm.
So if you are inspiring me, hopefully you and I can inspire our listeners and viewers of the podcast. That's the idea.
1000%. I think I have a challenge for both me, you, and our listeners, I guess.
Okay, what
Basi
would that be?
Well, I think a challenge well, first off, I think, Dobie, that me and you we should both make an appointment, like a telehealth appointment, and we can both go. And then we can share what our endo said.
And yours will be good. Little smiley faces like in school on the paper. I'll get the frowny face and I'll get a pin to my chest. Take home to your parents because you are a loser. But losers can
No.
become winners.
No, let me tell you, my A1C was above 8 for like, I'm not kidding, 2, 3 years, which is like pretty gnarly. And I think people think because I took all my insulin injections, I always finger pricked like, oh, this girl must have a good A1C. No, no, no. Let me tell you, it was above 8 for a long time because no freaking doctor nor myself could figure out why I was insulin resistant. But basically, where I was going with this whole point and this whole discussion was I have some tips for dating your endo.
Okay, let's hear the tips. Very
I also
important.
think that if you want to take them and parallel them to, dating and a relationship, by all means do so.
Okay, first I
Um,
got one tip. Date mammals.
yes, yes.
Okay, yours are more important. Let's hear you. Finding
Okay,
an endo. Here's
so
Sammy.
first one, guys. First tip for finding and dating your endocrinologist: research the doctor. That's the first one. You want to make sure they actually have credentials that not are impressive, but you're like, oh, wow, they know what they're doing. They've had experience and they either have somebody related to them that's diabetic, they've dove into different research projects or different camps and whatnot, but like that they have that hands on experience. Tip number two, the endocrinologist actually knows the latest technology. That is the
Mm,
number one
sure.
issue with some endos. They do not know the newest technology. And I'm sorry, but if you don't know the newest technology, even if somebody doesn't want to take it, there might be an issue there because I mean, it's important to know. Like if the new Dexcom comes out, I hope to God my endocrinologist is going to be like, girlfriend, the G7 came out in the US, you know?
We don't want any Amish endocrinologists in the old school.
Yeah.
All right. Tip
And
number three.
then, okay, tip number three, you need to be open. Well, you do, but also your endo. So there needs to be like this communication there of they need to be a listener and listen to you too, specifically, and like understand your individualistic needs because your body is going to be different. Like my body is going to be different than a grown man who plays in an NFL football team. We are not going to need the same needs.
Correct.
So that's tip number three. Number four, your doctor does not rush you. I know I was only 12 years old, but when I went to Children's Hospital, like I think you're great, but like you got to give more time for the endos because that's painful that I only had 15 minutes. I mean, there's no way a 12-year-old who just gets diagnosed can feel comfortable. Like,
Good
not a
point.
shot.
I see that.
And then tip number five is confidence and communication. And that kind of goes back to number three of being open minded, active listener. But be confident in your endo and they should be confident in you. And that together could give you basically the ultimate potential to reach your like basically top peak health.
Beautiful.
So
Those tips will be available on our website. Thank you, Sammy, for making those up. I learned something from. I have to go to see an endo.
I hope it helps.
It does help right now. So we're going to be right back. We got a sponsorship. Again, we are sponsored today by the Diabetes app, a free social community app that brings together both type 1 and type 2 diabetics plus their supporters and find community and resources. Sammy and I at the Diabetes app. What is the question of the cast here? Sammy?
So the question today is when is the last time you saw your endocrinologist? So I want you guys to share and answer this question on our Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at justmytypepod underscore. And Facebook is just my type pod. But again, question of the day. When is the last time you saw your endocrinologist?
Very good.
Please let
Stay
us
where you
know.
are. Thank you, Sammy. We'll be right back. This is the Just My Type podcast. Welcome back, Just My Type podcast in cyberspace. We are glad you're here. She is the lovely and talented Sammy Parker, type 1.
Mhm.
I am the almost lovely, partially talented Dobie Maxwell, representing type 2. And I was writing down those tips, Sammy. Those are very, very well done.
Wait, I'm glad that you're writing them down.
No, because this whole thing, I mean, this came out of the blue for me, and it's making me a better, healthy person. You know what I'm saying? I love working with you and the whole team, the Pod Squad. We always like to shout out to them. There's so many.
I like our pod squad.
They're absolutely fantastic. But to me, as a healthy person, as I get older, you don't realize I was your age once and perky and vivacious as I could be, and I could eat anything I wanted whenever I wanted, and traveling
Yeah,
across the country. I didn't think about it. You know, I drive for
totally.
15 hours, do a show, eat at truck stops and greasy foods and
Yeah,
sugar. And now, as you get
no.
older, it catches up with you. It sneaks up on you. And I would like to
Mhm.
do a type 2 tangent. That is a feature that we want to come up with once in a while. And because there's type 1 issues, there's type 2 issues. Type 1, you have to take your medicine or you're going to be flat, you'll be in the hospital. Type 2s, we can get away,
Yeah.
and that's a bad thing because there's not people hovering over us. Keep it going. The type 2 tangent today, living in the groove. And it's hard to be in the groove in life. My grandpa told me as a kid, the
Mhm.
hardest word to make your life good is balance. It sounds good in theory,
Yeah.
so does communism. It looks great on paper, but to pull it off in reality is a difficult thing to do. Balance. Say you got your boyfriend, you hang out with your boyfriend all the time. Well, maybe your schoolwork falls by or your regular work. So when you
Oh,
focus on one thing, everything
totally.
else gets lax. So I think as a
Mhm.
type 2 living in the groove is tough. You don't have to always eat perfectly and exercise every single day, 7 days a week, including your birthday and holidays. You can have a dessert once in a while. You can have some sweets once in a while. Somebody told me that between Christmas and New Year's is when people diet. They're going over to their family, on the 24th, so they start dieting on the 21st. Well, it's not gonna help. It's not
Yeah.
what you eat between Christmas and New Year's that counts. It's what you eat between New Year's and the following Christmas.
Yep.
360 days all the time. So living in the groove, I think, is one of the benefits that we can have on the show is every week we'll talk about something. It's like, okay, well, this week it's about A1C. Next week it's about diet.
Mhm.
Next week it's about exercise. Next week it's a guest. Maybe we have a dietitian or an endocrinologist or somebody on that talks
Yeah,
about that. And that's living in the groove and doing it as best you can all you can, but without overthinking it and becoming OCD. Some people are OCD. Oh my God, I have to measure out every carbohydrate that I eat, and you drive
yep.
yourself nuts. So your diabetes might be good, but your mental health is bad because you're absolutely a basket case.
Oh, yeah. When do you feel like you kinda, like, figured out your which I know everybody's always figuring out life and balancing, but when do you feel like you really kind of learned what it really meant to balance?
I, when I first started, I was
Yeah.
overbalanced the other way, and then I slacked off a little bit,
Okay.
got off the insulin, and then I started
Mhm.
going on cruise ships. I was working on the cruise ships, and I said, "Well, I have to exercise." So I would go up on the
Mhm.
top of the cruise ship and take laps at 4 o'clock in the morning when
Yeah.
everybody else was in a drunken stupor. I was done performing, and I would go there, and I
Yeah.
was really at peace with myself. And I thought, you know what? If it is to be, it's up to me. I think if everybody makes that choice,
I like that.
it's really true. And I think it's up to you, but there's also a team. You can't do it by yourself. So in the groove means not by yourself, not overboard one way or another. Yes, you can have a treat, but you also have to focus on you can't have treats all the time. So sometimes at this
Yeah.
point, I think I've let it go. I exercised today. It's like, well,
Mhm.
I was out of the groove for a long time. So that's what I'm saying. Don't have to be perfect. You just have to be better. I'm not a
Totally.
perfectionist. I'm an improvementist. So I want to just get better all the time. And you're already
I
helping me,
like that.
Sammy. No, you're being a really good inspiration. So hopefully that will carry over to the listeners. So that's my point.
Yeah, I think something I think too, like for me at least, was um it was really hard for me when I first went plant based because I was like oil free completely. And while I'm sure having a topic or podcast episode on this, but I was like really anal on certain things. And that's when I kind of realized like I was balancing a lot of things, but I wasn't balancing that aspect. And that's when like the perfectionism would come in and I ended up being like more unhappy
Hmm.
than when I learned how to actually balance life and realize like, okay, I'm human. Like, I'm not gonna have a life if I'm so perfectionist
Right.
on certain
Now,
things.
did you choose this by yourself? Did your doctor? Did your parents? I mean, how did you choose to be? I would never choose to be a vegan, and maybe that's wrong.
I tried going vegan my junior year of high school, which is like a whole nother story. But I basically like it didn't work, and then I found out the mastering diabetes approach, which is oil free, plant based, like high carbohydrate, low fat. Tried that. it was unreal, the results. And that was on my own, but I was very black and white with it. And my parents were like, honey, like, we think it's gray, but like, you can't be so black and white. You gotta be a little gray. And I'd be like, no, I'm doing this forever. And they were like, so, but they were very supportive. But needless to say, inevitably, they kind of let me figure that out, that it's not always going to work to be black and white. And that's where I like have found now a gray area. And there's difficulties with it, but overall, I'm more happy.
That's a lot of good information that we dispelled on today's podcast. Let's just let it rest because I don't think my brain can take anymore.
No,
Thanks for sharing. We're going to take a little pause right now. We're out of time. We really appreciate you listening to Just My Type podcast. We got to crawl before we walk, before we run, and that we are excited that you're joining us. Please subscribe, tell your friends. If you don't like us, tell your enemies. We like some listeners. Sammy, how can people get a hold of us?
Okay, so again, share your question of the pod with us on IG, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. It's just my type pod _ for Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And for Facebook, it's just my type pod. Sorry, tongue twister there. But yeah, we just want you guys to follow, subscribe, share, discuss. We want to engage, entertain, and
What's the question
all
again?
that
Just
jazz.
in case
So,
somebody forgot, what's the question again of the pod?
question is, when is the last time you saw your endo? And also, please rate and review. We want to hear from you guys and spread the word.
That's it, Sammy. We're out for this time. What do we got? One more thing?
C'est la vie, baby.
This is the Just My Type podcast.